Good evening and welcome to the Ogden City Council meeting of October 24th, 2017. This is the 6 p.m. 6 p.m. council meeting. Please note that all council members are present. However, Council Member Nadolski asked if he could be excused for tonight.
You did a good job.
With that, I'll turn the time over to Vice Chair Heyer to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Chair White. It's my pleasure to announce that we're going to have our Ogden Weber Convention and Visitors Bureau Director, Sarah Tolliver, lead us in the pledge today. So we'll turn the time to her.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
That's kind of mean that you put them on the spot, you know.
I was going to say.
I mean, you know, that's when you forget the pledge. It's like, oh, I've said it all my life.
I didn't ask her to sing the national anthem. I just asked her to say the pledge.
Just saying.
We should do that national anthem thing.
No.
You good with that? Okay.
Next on our agenda is taking a moment of silence. So please take one with me. Thank you. Next on our agenda is a couple of recognitions. These are always fun to do. With the first one, the Native American Heritage Month, I will turn the time over to Councilmember Garner.
Thank you, Chair White. It's an honor for me to read this proclamation today. This proclamation is a joint proclamation of the Ogden City Council and the Mayor, declaring November 2017 as Native American Heritage Month in Ogden City. Whereas for millennia, before Europeans settled in North America, the native people of this continent flourished. From generation to generation, they handed down invaluable cultural knowledge and rich traditions. Native Americans were the first to live in what is now Ogden, and whereas Native Americans have significantly shaped our country's character and culture, they were the first stewards of our environment and helped to build the very fabric of America. Our cultural heritage has been enriched immeasurably by their customs and traditions, which each tribe sharing wonderful portions of its unique history and character. And whereas Native Americans have also served this country with distinction, sharing their wealth of knowledge and talents, many foods, medicines, and remedies that are used today were introduced by them, and they have made notable contributions in education, government, law, medicine, sports, art, the military, science, and literature. Their many contributions continue to enrich and strengthen our community, and whereas we cannot forget the long and unfortunate chapters of violence, discrimination, and deprivation Native Americans had to endure, for far too long the heritage we honor today was disrespected and devalued. We cannot ignore these events or erase their consequences, but as we work together we can learn from the lessons of our past and forge a brighter future. And whereas today we honor the legacy of Native Americans and celebrate their rich heritage, Native American Heritage Month is an opportunity for our community to learn about Native American culture and gain an awareness of the unique challenges Native people have faced and the ways in which they've worked to overcome these challenges. Now, therefore, the Ogden City Council and Mayor Michael P. Caldwell hereby proclaim November 2017 as Native American Heritage Month in Ogden City. We recognize the profound influence of Native Americans and acknowledge the importance of their contributions throughout the greater Ogden community, and we express our sincere appreciation for Weber State University's 12th Annual Native Symposium and for all others who are working to highlight and embrace the Native cultures. So it's my opportunity today to read this and to proclaim that we approve this joint proclamation.
That's a motion. I'll second.
That's a motion.
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner, second by Vice Chair Heyer, to approve the joint proclamation. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
So it's my honor. It's my honor that we invite from Weber State University Diversity and Inclusivity Programs Coordinator, Andrea Hernandez. She'll be present to tell us a few things and some of the things they're getting ready to do up at Weber State. Uh-huh.
Thank you to the Ogden City Council and the Mayor of the Honorary Joint Proclamation recognizing WSU Native Symposium, Native American Heritage Month, and the contributions of Native people locally, nationally, and globally. I would also like to acknowledge that we are taking up space on occupied land, and I would like to acknowledge and thank the tribes of the land to allow us here today. I would also like to thank President White for his dedication on initiatives that support and retain our Native students at Weber State University. Our 12th annual Native Symposium will kick off November 1st with an 8 a.m. sunrise ceremony and breakfast, followed by a Navajo language workshop from our spiritual leader, Lyle Harvey. We will also be doing a free film screening of the documentary Beyond Standing Rock on November 8th from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Wildcat Theater. And on November 14th, we will have Dr. Manuelito Caravilla talk about her experiences as the first Native woman president of a non-tribal college in California. This starts at 10:30 at the Wildcat Theater. Again, that's on November 14th. All of this is free and open to the public, so anyone is welcome to come. On behalf of WSU, thank you for this recognition.
Thank you, Andrea. Now, Andrea.
Michiko, come on, please. Come on. No, come on up. We're going to take a picture.
Thank you so much.
Have you shake everyone's
Thank
hand
you.
all the way down the line,
Thank you. Thank you.
and then we'll have you come back and get this, okay?
You want to go through the line? Here's my
I'm getting up here and support her. Okay. Now this is for you. So we're gonna have you turn around and we're all gonna take a big picture with you.
I'm bookending
We'll
this
bookend.
side. This side.
Okay, are we ready? I'm gonna pick up here. 1, 2, 3. Slightly different angle. I think we're good.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Are those dates on the, on Weber State's website or somewhere?
Yeah, so if you go to weber.edu/diversity, all that information is on there. We're asking folks to RSVP for the breakfast and the luncheon, and we're just trying to get numbers, but everything's absolutely free and open. So we welcome everybody here. And then I'll have some flyers. So.
If you'll just give them to Brittany, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
And next on the agenda is YNC Productions. I'll turn the time over to Councilmember Blair.
Thank you, Chair White. This is a recognition recognizing YNC Productions for their immense support of Ogden City while filming the series Youth and Consequences right here at Ogden High School, and for providing invaluable contributions to the Ogden community. And it reads, the Ogden City Council and Mayor proudly recognize YNC Productions. Created by filmmaker Anna Ukana and developed by Jason Ubaldi, Youth and Consequences is a teen comedy drama series filmed at Ogden High School. The series is scheduled to air in 2018 on YouTube Red. We appreciate the YNC Productions team, immense support of our community. They have provided our local talent with new opportunities for growth and supported our local businesses. Opportunities like this are key to our community's economic prosperity to help showcase the artistic side of Ogden. We recognize the hard work and dedication of YNC Productions. Ogden High School, the Utah Film Commission, and Visit Ogden have also played instrumental roles in this project. We are very grateful to have such amazing partners in our community. We wish YNC Productions much success in their future projects, and we are eager to view the final cut of Youth and Consequences, presented this 24th day of October 2017. And tonight we have Virginia Pierce and Derek Mellis from the Utah Film Commission here. Production team, YNC production team representative Michelle Dreyer. Is she here? Okay. And Ogden High School Principal Luke Rasmussen is also here to accept a recognition. So if you want to come up, I've got recognitions for you.
I just wanted to say a few words to you, too. Do you want?
Yeah, come.
Okay.
My hands are freezing. I'm sorry.
Mine aren't bad.
It's great you were doing this while the students are there, too.
I know.
Does it matter if I went to Bama?
Yes. Thank you.
We'll get a picture and then if you want to say something also.
Yeah, right here.
Should we have Sarah come up too?
Maybe Sarah, do you want to?
Sarah?
Come on up, Sarah.
Should have worn my Ogden High tie today.
I got my Ben Lomond tie on.
I know, that's
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Well, I am so thrilled with this. Again, I'm Virginia Pierce. I'm the director of the Utah Film Commission, and YNC Productions was a great opportunity for us as the state of Utah, and we were thrilled. Derek worked with them really closely to show them a lot of locations around Utah, and they fell in love with Ogden and Ogden High School. They spent about 2.5 months here. They shot 8 episodes. They will end up, we don't have their final spend yet, but they estimated they spent about $6 million locally. Hired about 150 cast and crew, as well as hundreds of extras. Hopefully you knew someone that was able to be an extra. And so we really just, Ogden has been a film-friendly place for so long, but this was a newer company. YouTube Red is a brand new platform. They're really trying to make a go in the cable space, and I think this is going to be one of their first series that they showcase. So they were thrilled with the way it looked, and we, could not have done it without your support, without the support of the police department, and particularly for Principal Rasmussen. If you wanted to say anything about your experience, that would be great.
No, thanks for the recognition. I appreciate it. Let me just go a little. No, but they were really easy to work with. The company was great. One of my biggest concerns was the impact on the educational environment. As we were entering into school, we found out about the production fairly late in August, really, when they wanted to come in. And so they were really good at communicating. They adjusted their work week, so they worked. They didn't work on Monday and Tuesday at the school at all, and then they tried to film off location as much as they could. They provided us with some extra funding that we wouldn't have had that we were able to put back into our performing arts programs. Like I said, the communication was great. They really did not impact our learning environments. And it was fun. I think it gave us recognition to our school. It's a beautiful school. I think people will hopefully see that for what it is, because it is an amazing school that they chose it for a reason. But everybody was great, and I appreciate the recognition of this. So thank you.
And just a big shout out to Visit Ogden and Karen Warner, particularly, and Sarah, who do so much to support film. You guys really are one of our star communities. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a little something for you, too. We brought a little something from the Utah Film Commission for everyone.
These are so you can keep track of your own stories and maybe turn them into screenplays if you have your own.
Great.
Chicken.
I want to know the statistic on how many miles the vans did around and around and around Ogden High. That was, they retire, they just kept going around and around.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just add real quick, all 3 of my daughters were extras in that. They had a blast with it. And Luke, thanks for everything you're doing up there, and Sarah for everything you guys did to put this together. I know it took a lot of coordination and flexibility. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. And the fact that they bought local and stayed local and did all that, that's pretty awesome. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. First is the closed executive session of July 11th, 2017. Councilmember Blair.
Yes, thank you, Chair White. I have reviewed those minutes and found them to be accurate.
In the special meeting of July 11th, 2017, Councilmember Garner.
Yes, Chair White, I have read those minutes and found them to be correct to the best of my recollection, and I make a motion that we approve these minutes.
I second it.
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner, second by Councilmember Stevens. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next on the agenda is common consent regarding the fiscal year 2018 budget amendments.
Chair White, I'll make a motion that we adopt the item under common consent and set the public hearing for November 14th.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner, second by Councilmember Blair, to set the public hearing for November 14th, 2017. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I actually opposed this. Can I do that? Thank you. And again, for the reasons given earlier, I would wish that these were all in separate amendments. Okay, next on the agenda is reports from the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Andrea.
Madam Chair, members of the council, you have before you tonight a recommendation that's been forwarded on to from the Planning Commission regarding a petition which is filed by Linnell Carson to look at amendments to the cluster subdivision provisions of the city. The request is to allow basically front yard setbacks to have the same reduction that side yard and lot widths have in a cluster subdivision. For example, presently in the R110, R18 zones, there's a 30-foot required front yard setback. In R16 and R15, there's a 25-foot setback. The cluster subdivision basically takes a look at giving a proportionate reduction of 25% of side yard and lot widths, but not of front yard setback. So the request is to have that same 25% reduction allowed for the setbacks. And as you see, they vary depending on which zone you're in. 25% of 30, 25% of 25, to allow that to take place. What a cluster subdivision is basically the concept that you have a standard lot, but you're allowing for a sense of developing community or protecting some space, a reduction of lot size, of frontage, of side setbacks, so that you can take that portion of property that you're reducing and put it into a common open space for the subdivision. And so as you can see in this illustration, in the lot area, it's actually 2/3 the lot size is what is allowed in a cluster subdivision. So even though it may be a 10,000 square foot lot, you can reduce it down to 6,700 square feet and take that additional 3,300 square feet of property that would be in a lot and put it into a common open area. At the same time, then you can reduce the side yards and the lot width proportionally. So that's what a cluster subdivision is all about, and it takes place in an R1 or an R2 zone. You have to have a minimum of 25 lots to develop as a cluster subdivision. The question, what would the amendment do? As I mentioned, it would take the front setback and reduce it in an R110 or an R18 zone from 30 feet to 22.5 feet, and from 25 feet in R16, R15, R2 to 18 3/4 feet. Now that's just the setback area. That does not count the distance you still have between the property line and the curb line, which is in the right-of-way. So even though you look at that number and say, okay, 25, 18, from the street you'll still have a larger appearance because you have right-of-way width, which generally is another 11 feet until you get to the curb line. One of the concerns that staff raised and was discussed in the Planning Commission was you do have some unusual situations in the zoning ordinance that says that if a block is a majority developed out as a lesser setback, then you can take that lesser setback. And the concern we had is if that condition exists for some unique reason, we would be concerned that you may be able to get down to a 15-foot setback, which would not be enough room to park in the driveway and not overhang into the right-of-way over the sidewalk. And so we had recommended that even with a 25% reduction, there still should be a minimum of not less than 18-foot setback from property line to the house in order to allow that driveway area to accommodate a vehicle in it. The Planning Commission looked at that, and they recommended on a vote 6-1 to approve the petition, subject to reducing the front yard setbacks the same as the lot width, the 25%, and also clarifying that in no case can the front yard setback be less than 18 feet. The one commissioner who voted against this felt that 18 foot was still too small for most vehicles, and that he felt that there should be a higher standard than 18-foot setback. And the petitioner is also here tonight if you have any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Montgomery? Go ahead. No? All right. The petitioner want to speak at all?
Mrs. Carson?
Required to.
Okay, because he did a more than adequate job, I felt, in presenting everything, so I agree with him.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay. Oh, sorry. This is an opportunity right now to accept public input, if anybody would want to come up and speak regarding just the cluster subdivision setback amendment. Is there anybody that has any concerns about that?
Seeing no movement, any further discussion? I'll make a motion that we adopt proposed ordinance 2017-46.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Garner, second by Councilmember Blair to adopt the proposed ordinance 2017-46. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Blair.
Aye.
Councilmember Garner.
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
Vice Chair Heyer.
Aye.
Chair White.
Aye, that passes. All right. Next on our agenda is rezoning of 450 West 12th Street.
Okay, this is also a petition that had been filed to the city, and the Planning Commission has made a recommendation. And this is regarding property that is on the north side of 12th Street, west of Wall Avenue. The request is to rezone 17.5 acres that is presently zoned manufacturing and rezone it to commercial to allow a mixed development of retail and housing to take place. As you can see on the aerial and the properties outlined in red, it is one of the last undeveloped pieces along West 12th Street, a large farm area. You have office use, manufacturing use, retail use along the east and west sides, and you have a mobile home park to the north side of the development. So the existing zoning in the area is majority of C3. However, this piece and the property to the east are zoned manufacturing. And the request is then to continue that C3 zone up into this property to allow the development to take place. As the Planning Commission considered this, they looked at, of course, the general plan and the 12th Street corridor plan specifically when it talked about the properties on 12th Street that are currently manufacturing should be zoned commercial in order to develop this land into better utilization. And so, as you can see in red, this property is one of those properties that fronts 12th Street and would be included as consistent with the plan. Also, the Commission looked at the issues of the general plan where it talks about when looking at rezoning, is this property located on our arterial? Well, 12th Street is an arterial. What's the prevailing character of the area? The prevailing character is it's commercial, and that based on the market patterns and the traffic, that commercial would be the appropriate zoning. And also this property is all one parcel, so it's not cutting individual properties in half to create this zoning. And so this was also consistent with the general plan as well as the corridor plan. So the Planning Commission's recommendation is 7-0 vote was to rezone the property to CP3. And the petitioners are also here tonight.
Is there any buffer area to protect the mobile park from if other or commercial goes in there?
Well, the zoning itself, because it abuts a residential zone, requires a certain landscaping and setback as that buffer, and then when development takes place.
They're aware of that then, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, they would. Any of the developments would have to meet the zoning ordinances, and those are the standards in that.
And I mean, we just have a small piece, if you go back, do we think that we'll look at the other pieces or because they're already developed, we won't?
Probably because they're already developed. We could talk to the property owner and see if that would be something they'd like to consider. It had been a manufacturing building in the past, and I think Peterson is occupying the building at this point. And so, it's a clean industry and doesn't really impact the commercial uses around it.
Any other questions for Mr. Montgomery? All right. Does the petitioner want to say anything or?
Mike Nelson for Winchester Land Company. It's good to be here. So thank you for that time. Yes, we're excited to come into the city, and we've got some great plans. A little commercial up front. Haven't decided what to do yet. Still kind of in the planning stages for it. Planning on doing some multifamily in the back end. So currently there's some trees, buffer zones kind of there. So we're just looking design work right now on it. So. I don't know if that answered anything.
Yeah. No, I think you helped Councilmember Stevens too. He said that would be good.
Oh, okay.
Have you done any other projects in the area or in the state?
Not in the local area. We've done quite a bit down south, all the way from Utah County, Davis County, Syracuse, a little in Bountiful. So been around quite a bit. So originally from Bountiful, have a corporate office in Syracuse.
Great.
Welcome, Ogden.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So this, too, is an opportunity to accept public input on just the rezone of 450 West 12th Street. Is there anyone that wants to speak to that issue?
Seeing no movement, I will make a motion that we adopt proposed ordinance 2017-47.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Blair, second by Councilmember Garner to adopt the proposed ordinance. This is a roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Aye, that passes.
Good
Thank
luck,
you.
guys. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you to both of you. All right, next on our agenda is public comments. This is an opportunity to address the council regarding any issues. If you have any issues on any topic, please come up and state your name, and you'll have 3 minutes. No? No movement? All right, comments from the mayor.
Just a couple. I need to
You
hit the
gotta turn
button.
it on.
2 quick things. I know we have no council meetings for the next 2 weeks. We have Halloween next week, and I would just lobby to say I wish that was on a Friday or a Saturday. Having young kids that get all sugared up, then having to turn them around and get them off their sugar hangover and get them back to school is kind of rough. So if it could be the last Friday or Saturday of the month, I would be in full support of that. But that's not something we can change. And then the next one is because of elections. And I would just encourage everybody to get out and exercise their voice. It's a really unique thing that we have in America, and I think it's critically important. I'd also like to thank the Carsons. We did a big project through their property in the last little bit. appreciated the ability to work with you all on that, and those always come with some frustrations and headaches, and I think it's going to be a great thing for the community. So it's glad to see your project moving forward, and we appreciate your willingness to work with us. So thank you for being here tonight.
Anybody from the council?
Chair White, I just would like to, to piggyback on some of the comments from the mayor, but for children's safety, please next Tuesday be extremely careful. Drive carefully, watch out for the little trick-or-treaters, and just be cautious. And then, again, get out and vote and exercise that right that we have as Americans to choose our public leaders, and good luck for everyone.
This morning, we had an opportunity to view the 911 dispatch that has been remodeled and rebuilt over there, and it's a cost savings to the taxpayers of not only Ogden City but Weber County, because Ogden City donated the land, and it cut the cost of building that structure considerably, and now they have the opportunity to perform the type of performance that they need to have there. It enhances our public safety and protects our community very well. But Tina Matthew did a great job in heading that up and organizing the construction of the 911 dispatch. So.
Next on our agenda is a closed executive session to be considered.
Chair White, I'll make a motion that we adjourn into a closed executive session.
I need a second. We have a motion by Councilmember Garner, second by Councilmember Blair to go into the closed executive session. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
Councilmember Blair.
Aye.
Councilmember Garner.
Aye.
Vice Chair Heyer.
Aye.
Chair White.
Aye, that passes. We will be going into the closed executive session, and we will adjourn from there. So thank you all for coming.
Back in 3 weeks.
In 3.